Hey yo, what up guys? It's QB from the Tropic Express here to bring you another deck profile and video. Sorry I've been gone for so long in terms of me producing these type of videos. Was a long week last week, so I just want to come back with one of the cool things that came out of this past online regional was that Kaido ended up getting top 16. I took a quick glance at the list and it kind of, along with King, I think showing some type of, I think some people were playing King throughout the tournament. I think I saw one feature match that was playing King, but I also think King may have topped at the end of the last format. I'm not sure. I can't remember specifically. So sorry if I'm forgetting. If you're watching and you're like, I am that King guy or I'm that kind of guy that topped. I saw kind of like a glimpse of what they were kind of doing, what they were thinking, and taking kind of that idea and kind of like maybe put them on a spin on it. Some of it is probably pretty similar. Like I said, I don't have a very like card by card analysis of what they were doing, but this is kind of a leader. Seeing them do well wanted me to see how purple kind of fits into the meta. I know if purple going into set 5 it kind of comes back, but in set 4 and from set 1 to like to right now kind of got is like the lost child. Like we just kind of like ignore purple because it's just not consistent enough to stay top enough, and I think maybe there's a possibility that there could be somewhere it could fit in the meta at this point in time. So it's just my idea of it. I've been testing it a little bit here and there. Not sure if it's like super meta prevalent, but maybe just purple's like one of those things where, especially with Kaido and King, where if they see Oni, they get to do what they see their top end, like the game gets really hard, really fast, and it doesn't matter what deck you're playing. It just becomes a difficult matchup. So let me go through it. So basically, this video is going to be King. Basically with the purple decks, most of them you could just kind of like swap the leader. Kind of depends on the format. Like I think King does better in terms of like dealing with the board more, like controlling the board and then winning the game from there, while Kaido is probably has a easier kill shot. Like it effect lets you close the game from one life a little bit better than King does, but King kind of dictates on like controlling that board space. So basically what it does is once you're 10 dawn, all your opponent's characters with 1,000 power on your turn. So now it makes your opponent's characters easier to swing into. As you play plus blockers a little bit better, so like most of our blockers are capped at 6k outside of the Luffy and the Dofi structure deck, and basically now you're able to swing 5k with your King, so you don't get like chump blocks sometimes by the 6k ones, and then you can still play like your Kaido and things like that afterwards. So I think it's really strong, and I also think like when you're trading into board, trading into these 5k swingers or 4/6s, it helps. Also being able to bring like some of the top end back down to your level if you feel like trading into those. But I think once people play top end, you can maybe outpace that aspect of the game because your top end has rush. So I think you really just want to like get Oni on 2 as much as possible and then control the mid game until you get to rush Kaido and then allow that card to dictate the rest of the game. So just to go through the rest of the deck list, I'm playing one Dark Hole Kaido. I'm sorry, Kaido, the one that wipes the board if you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Hole. Only playing one just as like the emergency button. I think you at least should be one copy of the deck for now. Like I said, it's the emergency button where if the board gets out of control or if your opponent won the board so much in the early game and all you had was ramp, then you can kind of get into this card and then this card can like bring you back and kind of you just try and stabilize from there. I'm playing one King, just not like, I think there's really not a lot of matchups where this card kind of fits in really well. You really don't want to do this card against the Nami. It doesn't fit well against Dofi. You could argue it fits well against Becca in some like scenarios, but the card's not broken. But I feel like you also just need it versatile. Just having the card in your deck really helps a lot. So maybe just have it as one of you. Probably bump it to 2 or 0 if you want to. Like I said, my ratios aren't perfect. I just kind of started testing this deck a little bit here and there. So feel free to make any switches if you feel like it. I'm deciding to play with 4 Basil Hawkins. I think you want to, I don't want to say maximize, but you want to have a lot of your in-life triggers to help give you ramp. I think it's kind of really important for when getting to 10 dawn as fast as possible. Also, it's on play, so you could draw it or it can be out of your life. The only problem with it is that it has 2k attack. Sometimes it actually comes up like later in the game, having their monsters decreased by 10. This card can like trade out minions, but the card's still not even bad because against some of the low curve decks like Law and Zoro, if you get this out of life, I mean, you just have like a 2-day swinger that can swing into bodies, and that's really what you need against most of those decks. for another 2K, or for 2K, I'm playing X-Drake. I think it's just a bit one of the better purple 2Ks, just because it affects has an actual effect 2K counter, and then we know X-Drake does. And this is kind of like when I said I saw a glimpse of like the other decks. It's kind of like the engine that I saw that I don't know if it like makes purple like, I guess you could say like makes purple like decent, because it now gives you a consistent engine gives you consistency into your blocker, a popper, and a 2K counter. And I think that's kind of like what we look for when we're building decks. Is we don't want to, there's a lot of times outside of like maybe blue where you just want to say, hey, I'm trying to draw cards on top of my deck, and the consistency of my deck should be that I'm playing similar aspect of cards essentially. So I think when I saw the Catalyst, he was playing this, and I think this is a really good addition into the deck, because now it gives you a searcher for your blocker, which is Chimney and Gombe, and then your popper, which is Poly. So this card, we know what it's going to be in OP05, but right now it's basically what it does is it taps 2 Dawn if you have more than 8. It taps 2 Dawn, gives you Dawn, an active Dawn if you have more than 8 Dawn at this point, which you should always have more than 8 Dawn because we're not playing Iceberg. If you have more than 8 Dawn, then it'll pop a card as well. So more Dawn ramp, card solid. This card's been really good in testing actually. And then Frankie, which is the 2K counter for Water 7. It doesn't have an effect. It's just searchable. Robin came out in set 4. Another Dawn ramp from their life. You have to put two Dawn back, but even if you don't draw the card, it still pseudo ramps your card, and then it's probably your best like mid-turn, like your turn 5 play. So because now it puts you at 7 or 8 going into next turn, and as long as you're getting closer to playing your Rush Kaido, the faster. Basically, kind of what you're gonna do is ramp fast into Rush Kaido, because this card can kind of like, it's a good tempo swing. I think it's the best card in purple right now. We played it a long time ago, and now it's just still there. Except we have more consistent Dawn ramp that doesn't like cost us cards out of our hand, so now we have to keep like a decent hand size. Also, a little bit of problem with the deck is that because you play so many non-counters, there's just pseudo bricks in the deck. But card's been solid. King, this is a card that like I don't think the guy was playing. I haven't had a chance to see how this card kind of fits into the meta yet, so this will probably be, so I would say like the 3 cards that I'm kind of, or 5 cards I'm kind of in between are like the Kings and then the Uta. I think Uta's pretty strong, but these 3 I'm kind of like in between of whether or not the cost that we have currently in this meta, this kind of fits into them, or is it just cards that we're going to sit in our hand. So we'll kind of see throughout testing today. 4 Queen, one of the best purple cards, no need to talk about it. Uta, we know what this card is doing right now in the format for Dofi. It's just another powerful card where being able to slow the opponent down so that you can get to your 10 on turn is really important. Also, it matters inside certain aggro matchups. I'm playing 2 Gungan Jet Gatling. Mostly, it has the same trigger effect as Hawkins, really, where if you get out of life, you can decide to trash it just to get the extra Dawn if you need it. But also, like I said, with us playing a lot of non-counterable, also, I felt as if there's, outside of the poly turns, you tend to tap out a lot to like get rid of things on the board. So I think cards like this are really powerful. I just want more cards. I don't play Bagua. I haven't found myself so far in testing leaving up 2 Dawn consistently in order to have it live. So outside it, so I think Gatling is just better in this spot right now. And then Blast Breath. We know what this is. Just 1K, 4K, put 1 back. It doesn't usually cost much more stuff on you up. And then the best, what probably is the best card in purple, if you see it only once, is Oni. So yeah, this is a purple deck for now. I guess kind of get into some games, see how it goes. Like I said, this is kind of more of a video to see, like, I think some of the next videos that we're gonna end up doing, we have a lot of like deck ideas that we're thinking about, and you can call them meta calls, you can call them whatever you want, but kind of just seeing how non-top tier leaders could fare into the meta right now. You chose to go first. Kind of know how this matchup goes. Even though I don't have, I think having effectively removal is really helpful, but I think you just want to find, because we're going to take 7 on the follow-up, and I have too many other things in my hand right now, so we're going to see how it goes. Tested versus my friend Mark, who likes to play this deck a lot, and depends if this guy likes to play it the same, so he probably does, because he's going to end up playing Swing 7, playing Smoothie on follow-up. So, and this is kind of the problem we sometimes see in purple, and kind of what you want to figure out is whether or not this deck can win when it doesn't see Oni. because when you see Oni, the games are easy, but when you don't see Oni, the games are difficult, and that's what we're kind of hoping a lot of the new cars do. I'm going to go ahead and swing 5. Chance he guards out, chance he doesn't, but I think I'm just gonna play basil this turn. I just want to get into my 7 on turn, so now that I have an out to smoothie, because odds are we're gonna have to take a couple life this next turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and play basil. Hopefully we can hit like another Hawkins out of life or something like that, so we can bump ourselves to 8. But we kind of just want to get to 10 Dawn as fast as possible. So next turn I want to go ahead and play Hawkins to set up my poly play, so that my poly puts me at 8. So the next turn we're at 10, and then we can kind of start making good trades, trading with another poly, and then hopefully just playing some blockers in the follow up. And this is okay. Hopefully, maybe we can get a trade into our board instead of, which he should. I mean, he can probably check with putting. He should. But this is kind of fine. Yeah, this is fine. I might guard out if he only swings 5, because I'm gonna go ahead and guard out. But I'm gonna pitch a 2K. I think, because I think I need these blockers in the late game. Right now, I think we're gonna be able to. We should be able to stabilize this turn a little bit. Like, blockers are good. They're decent against this deck, mostly because, like, they're okay. They can be good and bad. Again, it kind of, like, makes them sometimes obsolete, but I think all we want to do is continue to just try and win the board, keep one up. We could have done it prior. I think this other thing, like, I like to keep one. You can keep poly unless you keep one up in some situations, but sometimes you want to do it the other way, where like you want to swing 6 and stuff. But we should be at 10 next turn. Now we're gonna get the reduction. Now we just need to like make sure, kind of do what you do to yellow and green, which is kind of like make sure you're removing their cards. I think I'll probably get to 2 right here, and I'll probably stay here. Don't want to die to like a Django turn on accident. So I think next turn will probably end up either being, depending on how he does this, he's swinging 8, it looks like, maybe 9, can't tell, it looks like 9. Swinging 8, I'm okay with that. Well, he can't really swing good numbers, so I think we're going to start getting like favorable trades. And he's not really summoning anything that's super high value, so this turn I'm thinking I want to make sure he doesn't have anything on board, so they pop the same. Thinking going. Going on swing 5. Like I said, I just want to get rid of stuff, and now we want to start. I kind of want to start putting up like little blockers. So he's guarding out. I'm not gonna care too much about that. I'm just gonna swing. I'm gonna go ahead and swing 6. I kind of want to see what he gets out of life. If he decides to take it, or if he decides to block, there's a chance. Which is fine. I want to keep the poly because now we want to like, I'm gonna keep the poly. Sometimes, because just in case you get Rush Kaido, then now on the follow-up, if I'm not mistaken with the math, then Rush Kaido pitches 5, which puts you back to 7, which means you get the poly back to 8. Are we racing this card? He can swing 7, we can pitch. I'm gonna go ahead and trash a life here. I think we... Like I said before, I think blockers can win this more than anything. Now we can kind of be like pseudo aggressive, so we kind of one down to work with. I like swinging empty fives is another thing. I like just starting with base swings a lot of the time, just because it makes it hard for your opponent to read on like what you're really trying to do. Like I said, I think we really want to put up another the Uta blocker more than anything else. So I could swing more technically, but I also want to be able to like have outs to like if he I want to have outs if he has like Django or something like that, or if he rips like something off the top that I want to limit the number of attacks he has. So he decides to go that, which is also okay. So if he goes Django, we have what, 7k counter? So we lost both side blockers, so I think we're just gonna put up Uta, just have a little jump blocker. And so now I gotta think like there's possible 3 swings at 10k max, so it's like 10, 8, 8, 10, 10, 8. It gets Krieg. Krieg doesn't, I mean, it gets 2 value pops, but I think we're going for game on the next turn, and I would say that. So we're just swinging 9 and 2. It was interesting. I think we just go Gatling. He's gonna swing with this, and then go Gatling, and then he'll swing 8, and then we can block, switch, use card action, switch this, and then use this, and then now we have 3 swings. So I guess we'll just start with, that's kind of what I mean. Like right now I really want to start with base 7. This is how I like to play. I like to say, okay, cool, I have 10 down to work with. He has 2 cards. Base 7 is probably just the best number to start with. Puts another life back, so it's a base 5. And now we win from here. There's nothing you can really draw that can get him out of this, even if it's Brûlée or something like that. And base 5 wins. I think this is the last turn. Yeah, that's something I saw. I think the last turn he kind of, if he just doesn't swing with Lin, then he gets to keep his blocker and force me to like have an out to something like that. But I think that was the biggest thing. Try and get another game in. Just kind of hopefully we get something more meta. Kind of see how positions meta gets the Arlong. No offense to Mark, but Arlong's just not the best deck. I don't remember how this matchup used to be back in the day. I think I'm going first though. Like I said, oh, never mind, I didn't want to play. And sometimes it happens. I think that's the hardest part about Sim. Sometimes people just don't want to play against your like non-meta deck. But still a good place to play. But I think as you can see, kind of like what we're trying to do, trying to mana ramp. Try and go first. And just kind of like, seems like this hand kind of curves out a little bit. Now we're just seeing, looking for top end. I think Poly is like good enough. This water 7. Oh, cool. You can get this card too. I didn't know that. So that's cool too. So I have more targets than I expected. We kind of want to be a little bit more aggressive in this matchup. I think purple should have the edge because black tends to need more control of the board, and like because your cards are cost-wise can get pretty high pretty fast, then you can outpace the removal. But we'll see. But this kind of hand you're kind of looking for. You have decent top end. You have Oni. So we'll just see how this game goes. It's 6 King pistol, draws card, gets a free removal, get our free Dawn. Going to 6 next turn. We'll see if he plays anything that's not Porcelino. If he plays anything that's not Porcelino, then we take MP5. Kind of just want to plan something out. It's unfortunate a little bit. Plays Kuzan. So that's swing MP5. And like sometimes these are really easy to read. Like these turns, I think once you get more Dawn, they're harder reads to make, but for now, I think you know with somebody swinging 55 on 6 with the purple deck, you know King's coming down, so you know you guard out, but it kind of just depends. I think sometimes you want to swing. I think just like making your opponent think as much as possible in your Dawn turns is really important. So now this is probably one of those different turns. So what? We have 5 Dawn. I want to be aggressive still, so. And this is kind of maybe one of those different scenarios. Usually I would like to swing empty, and I might steal. Which I will. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm really trying to bait the block. Trying to bait this Porcelino to block. I don't really. But he's not gonna let it. He's gonna go ahead and let it rock, which is fine. You can then just push the card for it. Which is, I think sometimes it's like the smarter play, the better play to do is to like pitch the card. Like, you know, I'm gonna swing. You know, I have it's on to work with. I can kill the Porcelino. Sometimes I'll block Porcelino if I have another Porcelino. So that's a read I'll make right now. So more likely he doesn't have like a secondary Porcelino, or he doesn't want to play that Porcelino on the follow up. But I guess he was frustrated that he didn't block or something like that. Unfortunately, I guess that's gonna be it. I wish I could get more better games in. I think something that I'll probably start doing later is starting to just maybe recording games that I play throughout testing, so that I can get like better meta relevant games. I know that those 3 matchups, 2 people left, and the hour long kind of played it all out, but I think it kind of, just from the mapping aspect of your turns, you kind of can see where the deck has potential. I'll do a better job next time. I make sure I get games that are more meta relevant. So I'll probably take games that I actually play throughout, maybe like a week of testing the deck, and then take out some of the good games and go from there. But if you like to see these new leaders, or not new leaders, see leaders that we're kind of looking at, see meta choices that us Jumper Express can say that, hey, these may be meta calls for a certain tournament, please just leave like, comment, and subscribe. Today's King, I'll probably bring you a new video possibly sometime next week. I'll try to be more consistent. Apologize for not showing a new deck video soon, but hey, thanks for watching the video. Peace.